Coming up on AgweekTV, heavy rains across portions of Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota have caused flooding and crop losses in many fields.
On the Soil Health Minute, I'll give you a preview of Agriculture Adventure Day at the Red River Zoo.
And we'll see how patriotism is often a natural fit with farming.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. Mother Nature dropped from 5 to 12 plus inches of rain on portions of Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, and South Dakota over just a 10-day period. The result has been flooding, which has wiped out thousands of acres of cropland and left other fields with standing water and ponding. Farmers are now trying to assess crop and fertilizer loss due to the disaster. Farmers in the northwestern Corn Belt have received some near-record rainfall in June. 9 to 12 inches have fallen near Centerville, where the Vermilion River has flooded adjacent cropland, leaving lakes where crop once stood.
Underwater, between the boys and I, it's like 400 acres.
However, he says there are also many other fields with areas of ponding that will have lower production potential.
Impacted it all was, but I mean, as for yield loss and everything, we'll probably say 25% without much trouble.
Southwest Minnesota and northwest Iowa were also hit hard, especially along the Floyd and Rock rivers. Steve Abma farms near Rock Valley, Iowa, where they've received over a foot of precip in a little over a week.
This is the second worst I've seen, and I've lived here all my life. In 2014, it was higher than this.
As a result, he and area farmers now have hundreds of acres of cropland underwater.
This is 80 acres here, and probably looking at half of it underwater. And then when we go the other way, we've got another 100-acre piece, and then yet another 100-acre piece behind that that's probably nearly totally underwater.
So those acres will be a complete loss and may be covered by insurance. The other losses are uncertain.
Insurance will maybe cover some of it. It all depends on how you get it structured.
Myself, I have a 70 and 75% coverage. So I'd have to lose 30% of my crop before I'd have anything would happen.
It's also late enough in the season that even if the water recedes, there are very few replant options. The main questions farmers are asking now include how long can crops stay submerged in water before they die, and once the water recedes, how much nitrogen will be lost. Agronomists say soybeans are more resilient than corn, but survival still depends on crop stage, air temperature, and the number of days underwater.
The taller corn could probably last 3, 4, maybe up to 5 days. But if it's really hot and sunny, yeah, you're probably just looking at 2 to 4 days on average. We've seen documentation that 5 days up to 7 days submerged soybeans can make it. The big challenge with soybeans is after the water recedes, they're really prone to diseases.
The other issue is denitrification, which Hofbeck says varies and makes it hard to estimate yield loss.
If you got saturated areas like this in a field, every day that the field's saturated and waterlogged like this, you can probably expect 5% of your nitrogen loss.
He cautions farmers not to give up on the crop too soon. He says when the fields dry out, they should run a soil test to determine if they need to apply additional fertilizer. The Farm Bill continues to progress in Congress. Last week, the House passed their version on a vote of 213 to 211. This was the second vote on the bill in the House, but there were no changes in the language from the last vote, which means it does contain the controversial SNAP reform measures, which are not part of the Senate version. It's the time of year when we see lots of displays of patriotism, but many farmers across the land fly Old Glory all the time. Mikkel Pates wondered why the tradition of flags on farms is so strong, so we talked to several farmers around the region who proudly display the stars and stripes.
This time of year, patriotism runs high, and there's no greater symbol of that than our flag.
It's up there constantly. It's been up there for probably 25 years. We put up a new flag every once in a while. The weather gets it. Best of it. It's about due for a new one again.
Alfred Kemen still lives on the Madison, Minnesota farm where he was born 76 years ago. Kemen is an Army Guard vet who likes expressing his patriotism. Besides, Kemen says the flag helps him farm.
When I feed the cattle, I can tell what direction the wind is in if I look at the flag, so I can tell which way I gotta face the feeder wagon so we don't get the dust in the radiator of the tractor.
Many farmers are third or fourth generation descendants of immigrants who were given a chance to succeed in this new land through the homestead program.
I actually kind of like the frayed ends. It shows it's been used and it's done its job.
Jim Morris farms in Clark County, South Dakota. his flag is on display with another American classic, his old Ford tractor.
We farmed with little Ford tractors.
Although he's graduated to top-of-the-line John Deere's, Horace still celebrates freedom in farming with his little Ford tractor standing proudly at attention beneath the flag.
That's why the little Ford tractor is part of our heritage and part of the flag. The 4th of July, we always celebrate with the little Ford tractor and the flag.
Top quality so that it would last.
Jason Lovis is the 4th generation on this Hillsboro, North Dakota farm. As his corn production grew, so did the size of his bins, and gave him a bigger place to proudly display a huge flag.
I've been surprised at how many people have stopped by the shop just to thank us and show their support and to kind of congratulate us on the idea of putting up a flag.
Jason's dad, Peter, was surprised when he heard what Jason wanted to do, but he loves to have the 12 by 25 foot flag rippling proudly across his bin, prominently displayed along Interstate 29.
Person, what the heck you doing over there? And that's pretty neat.
Jason Lovis says at this time of political division in the U.S., the flag is still a good reminder of who we are.
There's certainly a fair amount of political tension in this country, and we need to remember that we're all Americans and this is the greatest nation on the planet. That was maybe part of my goal or thought behind the flag, is just to show our unity as a country and our support for our country.
And the Lovises say they love the response they get from passers-by. What's usually their reaction about the flag here? Okay.
That's how farmers talk.
This is Mickle Pates for AgWeek.
Mickle will have much more on this story in the upcoming AgWeek magazine. How are the crops in the region developing? We'll have an update and market analysis up next on AgweekTV.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
I'm 120, 130, 130, 55, once around the block, 212 miles right here, now having tons up.
If you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
U.S. condition ratings continue to be historically high for row crops and spring wheat. U.S. corn is rated 77% good to excellent, down 1% from last week, still 10% above 2017. Ratings improved in the Dakotas but dropped in Iowa and Minnesota. U.S. soybeans were 73% good to excellent, steady for the week, but 7% above 2017. Ratings improved in South Dakota and Nebraska, even with flooding, but were down in the rest of the region. Nationally, spring wheat conditions were down 1%, with the region steady to 5% higher. And the U.S. winter wheat harvest is running ahead of normal, while conditions continue to improve in the region with rain. Back with market analysis this week is Luke Swenson, and we've had a lot of uncertainty overhanging grain and livestock futures trade because of trade. And do you think that's going to change anytime soon here if we don't get an agreement with China?
I don't think so. It's really tough because they got July 6th is the day they're supposed to be coming online. China's been saying they're going to retaliate, but they've kind of been hesitating back on it. We've got everyone kind of guessing one way or another. Are they going to come out just before the 4th of July and try and throw the last nail in the coffin to push this thing down and make a bottom on it? But it's anyone's guess at the moment. Trying to sustain it with anything other than a weather rally, say mid-July, is going to be tough until we get that sorted out. It's just, there's too much overhang on it. The funds are selling. There's too much pessimism in the market that until we get a little resolution or thinking we're heading somewhere with that to start really sustaining a rally unless weather really kicks off into July.
And funds have already started pushing short in good portions of the grain complex. So do they keep doing that?
Yes, the early ones were out way before the trade stuff really kicked off, and you're seeing everyone kind of trail in, and they're starting to build a short position on it. Is it going to persist? Yes, unless we actually, like I said, start to see that weather, say in the 10th of July area, those forecasts start to carry out a little farther into, say, the 15th or so. Then you'll start to see some premium get built back in. For the most part, everything weather premium has been taken out, but when you do look at, say, the options values and things moving around in that market, you can see there is some value in there, that there's kind of a little bit of optimism up close that they're going to work through this thing and they'll get us a little bit back in line with where we've been.
With all the volatility in both grain and livestock markets, how do you do risk management?
Right now, we're telling everyone for the most part, do the sit on your hands approach. We're kind of hedged where we want to be, close to half on corn and beans. Wheat, we're a little under hedged, but with where we're sitting and your risk reward looking at the scenario with China, it's not really worth scrambling to do a bunch here. If you're sitting on old crop and you need to move some, we'd definitely be saying watch basis, because we've had guys in central North Dakota contracting old crop corn 20 cents under, if not a little better in spots. So look for those niche areas, take that when you can get it, but keep the futures open and let them work.
Thanks so much, Luke Swenson, joining us. And for our extended conversation, you can go to agweek.com. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll find out how sunflower growers feel about what's happening with tariffs and trade. And later, we'll see how sheep may hold the cure for a devastating disease.
Micro Essentials is a premium phosphate product. It's a dry granular product. The main difference with a Micro Essentials type product is you have a homogeneous granule for the nitrogen, the sulfur, the phosphorus, and in this case, the zinc is all in one granule. If you ever have a desire or a need to learn more about what does sulfur do within a soybean plant, what does the potassium do for the corn crop, we have microessentials.com. We also have a great resource, cropnutrition.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Get your row crops off to the right start with an Early Riser Case IH planter from Titan Machinery. Case IH Early Riser planters feature high-tech yet rugged planter row units that quickly adapt to the toughest seeding conditions, while leaving an optimal seed bed to promote early, uniform plant emergence. Only Case IH Early Riser planters are designed to leave a flat-bottom seed furrow, ensuring consistent seed depth and even emergence. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today for more information on the next generation of planting technology from Case IH.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
Tariffs and trade are getting a lot of attention, mainly in the soybean market, but other growers are keeping a close eye on developments. The National Sunflower Association held its annual summer meeting this week in Alexandria, Minnesota. Our Jonathan Knutson was there and has more.
I'm here with John Sondbakken, Executive Director of the National Sunflower Association. Well, we're close to wrapping up sunflower planting. No final numbers yet, but what's your best estimate of planted acreage?
Well, I think our acres are going to be a little bit higher than we were last year, but I also think that acres are going to be spread out a little bit more. Talking to some producers from eastern North Dakota that are getting back into sunflower in areas that have not planted in a long time, so that's been really good to see.
What are you hearing and seeing about the condition of our sunflower crop?
Right now the crop is off to a phenomenal start. I noticed in the last USDA report we're about 85% good to excellent, and you really can't get much better than that. And overall, growing conditions have been fantastic for sunflower, and I think we're looking forward to a good crop this year.
Talk a little bit about the importance of exports to U.S. Sunflowers and any concerns you might have about what's happening in Washington in our trade talks.
Well, trade is very important to sunflower. We export about 30% of all our sunflower oil into Canada and other markets into Mexico. And when you look at confectionery sunflowers, they're even more dependent on exports. 50% of the crop is exported. So very, very key, critical, important part of our trade. And something that we're keeping very close eye on is the NAFTA negotiations. Canada and Mexico are our two largest markets, and we really need to make sure we keep those markets open. And for sunflower, we have a zero tariff in both markets in Canada and in Mexico. So very, very critical to us. And, so far, sunflower has not been targeted by any of the tariffs in these other countries that are, retaliating against the United States. But it is a concern that one day we could maybe face that also.
For so many of our prices, with our crop prices, the feeling is that we're going to need above average yields for farmers to turn a profit this growing season. Would that be true for sunflowers as well?
Well, definitely. We always want to try to hit a home run. I know everybody shoots for that ton yield, and the thing is you want to maximize, obviously, the return that you're going to get per acre. And one of the things is it's not unique to sunflower, and that is every crop was looking forward to that.
Well, thank you, John. A lot of good information as always, and as always, I do enjoy visiting with you.
Well, thank you, John. Always appreciate being on your show.
This week's Crop Stop takes us to Hutchinson in south central Minnesota, where Jonathan Knutson found farmers dealing with too much water. Brian Bushman owns Prairie Road Crop Consulting near Hutchinson. The primary crops in that area are corn and soybeans. Bushman says most farmers around him would like a little dry spell.
Yeah, the last 2 to 3 weeks we've had more than enough rain. Some areas as high as 12 to 14 inches. On the average, probably looking at close to that 6 to 8 inch range. As dry as we were starting out in the spring, probably 3 to 4 would have been ideal.
Bushman says growers want drier weather the next week or so, but would like an inch or two of timely rain through July and August. What can we expect in the coming week for weather? John joins us with your agri-weather forecast.
It's always hot and it's always humid in July, but this year it's shaping up to be hotter and a little more humid than average across much of the northern plains, the central plains, and the upper Midwest. The extra heat and humidity does become fuel for storms, but what usually happens in July, and what I think will be particularly the case this summer, is that some areas will get too much rain and some areas will get too little. With the jet stream going north again, that's going to allow an opportunity this week for warm weather and humidity to come northward. By warm, I'm indicating mostly 80s with a few in the 90s. By hot, I'm talking mostly 90s with a few spots getting up around or into the hundreds. So there's going to be a lot of warm weather in the Corn Belt, the Great Plains, and even some days this week in the northern plains. North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota will get up into the 90s with dew points in the 70s, that really hot, sticky stuff. With the jet stream mostly staying north, but a lot of northwest to southwest to northeast flow, there will be scattered storms around in the northern plains. They'll mostly be small clusters, some of them producing heavy, intense outbursts of rain, and a lot of this activity will be at night. The Corn Belt areas will get passed over for the most part with less or fewer areas of rain there. The second week, July 8th through 14th, the heat may relax a little, but it's still going to remain warm and mostly warmer than average, and the storms will continue, particularly with proximity to the jet stream, and not as much in the Corn Belt, but plenty across the northern plains. So what does this do to the overall crop situation? Well, there are dry areas in the northern plains and wet areas, and it'll still be like that 2 weeks from now. Southern plains are beginning to see improvement of the drought. This may get worse again over the next couple of weeks. The Corn Belt is mostly doing just fine, although hot temperatures will mean stress for some crops the next couple of weeks.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Prairie Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Prairie offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Prairie Air Reel or Prairie Wind System today.
AgWeek is excited to bring you the AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you wherever you are. Download the AgWeek app today.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
Get ready for the biological revolution. Enhanced by Ag Concepts is a scientifically designed foliar fertilizer formulated to quickly deliver essential nutrients to your crops for the greatest possible yields.
I had a hail incident and I only had maybe beans that were 4 inches tall. I put some Enhance out. That seemed to really bring my beans back. Got 40 bushel beans compared to a 0. That's the best dollar ever spent.
Join the biological revolution with Enhance by Ag Concepts.
Tucked back in the woods north of Moorhead, a flock of sheep could hold the key to helping slow or stop a deadly disease. Huntington's disease is a cruel, progressive, deadly brain disorder. But as Kevin Wallivander reports, a unique group of sheep may be the weapon to combat it.
Come here. Come on.
Lynn Cutterbaugh has been busy raising 7 kids of her own, and now 12 lambs.
There.
Lynn and her family volunteered to help with the war on Huntington's disease.
You're being kind of pushy.
On their farm in rural Clay County, the city kids are taking care of a flock of sheep that have been specially bred.
It's called the GM1 ovine gene. You stay here. And that gene produces a glycolipid, and it's concentrated mostly in their liver. So then their livers would be used to make the medication for humans.
The lambs carry a special trait that right now is leading to some promising results in mice. Human trials to start soon.
It's emotional for me, thinking that, like, if this works, if this research works and works in humans, that, like, my generation could be the last generation to know what Huntington's disease is.
The research raising these sheep is personal for Lynn.
This is my mom. So this is probably about, maybe about a year before my mom passed away.
Lynn was just 13 when she lost her mom to Huntington's disease. Her sister Lisa died too. Both were 49.
If this can help end Huntington's disease, then yeah, it's totally worth it. Or even advance the research in whatever way.
This research is part of a nationwide study and is also going on in England.
Coming up on the Soil Health Minute, my son and I will show you what's happening at the Red River Zoo for Agriculture Adventure Day.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
AgWeek is excited to bring you the AgWeek app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your AgWeek news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take AgWeek with you wherever you are. Download the AgWeek app today.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The AgWeek Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
The grand opening of a new modern agriculture exhibit at the Red River Zoo takes place July 14th during Agriculture Adventure Day. Soil health specialist Abby Witt gives us a preview of the event in this Soil Health Minute.
We're here at the Red River Zoo with my friends Bob the Cob and Susie Soybean from the North Dakota Corn and North Dakota Soybean Councils, and also my son Wiley. So we're going to check out how agriculture is being brought into the Red River Zoo as part of their education program. Right now what we're doing is feeding some of the back-turned camels. One of the things you can do in the evenings at the zoo during their summer night programs is come feed these guys and get up close. Careful, Bob, these guys do like to eat corn cobs. This combine is always here, and it's going to be part of a larger exhibit to focus on modern ag and precision ag. So not only can you see the new exhibit inside the barn, you can plant seeds, you can dig for worms, you can look at crops. This will be a great opportunity to get information on modern agriculture right from the source. After you play some games and feed the animals, you can come check out the crops area, where we have corn, soybean, wheat, and sunflower planted. We also have some cover crops here. This is a great way to get up close and personal with some of the crops we grow in the region. Here in the Children's Zoo Farm, there are heritage breed animals that you can check out and feed. So this is a great opportunity to get in touch with some of these farm animals that you may not see in the city. So come join us on Agriculture Adventure Day, July 14th. It's going to be a blast. And more information is posted on the Red River Zoo webpage.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you next week.